would like you to introduce yourselves. And thank you for being here. And I will disappear from the screen and give it all to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Åke.
Thank you. So we are MTA Production. My name is Hilda, and my name is Julia.
And I am Malin.
Malin Kairis, Julia Boman. We will guide you through this seminar, living through the pandemic. Yeah, I would like to say welcome, warmest welcome to the seminar by MTA Production. We will answer all your questions in the chat, so please feel welcome to write your questions there during our seminar. The chat is at Facebook on the web, the Facebook page Live at Heart. So I am Hilda Sandgren, the founder of MTA Production. MTA has, during the past 20 years, been in constant motion, working tirelessly with the many sides of the music industry. And for me personally, I have always tried to expecting that good work will be rewarded and paid off, sooner or later. And I believe that if I am expecting and celebrating good things, and believe that good things can happen, they will. And from this time, I have learned that, and with that attitude, MTA and me, we can better cope with the worst case scenario. And if I think and act from the original plan, and that was having a good success and a big success instead, it was easier to cope with this year. This is the invisible wheel of expectation that helps me calm down and clear my thoughts. So this is us. This picture is taken at Warmex Trade Fair and Conference in Tampere, Finland in October 2019. We were celebrating that we closed deals with a lot of presenters, organizers from Canada and the States, as well as Finland and Italy. And also that we did a big revenue, reached over 20 million Swedish crowns. So this was an all-time high for us. And yeah, things were looking very bright. Next. So let's start from the beginning. MTA was founded in 2000 by Hilda Sandgren. It started out as a DIY one-woman company with the mission to bring quality and equality into the music business. During the first 10 years, women were a bit underrepresented in the business as well as in the artistic fields. But that was about to change. In 2008, Malin Kairis started working at MTA as a sales manager and booking agent. And that was a very good decision made by me. Because before Malin came, I found myself being very lonely and feeling very lonely. And when I look in the rear view mirror, I think that a network and a mentor or a mentorship with someone guiding me, helping me realize my potential and supporting my ideas would have had a great impact on me, and that would have helped me a lot as well. But no, I was too proud to ask for help and I did not even think about it. That was stupid, I think, having the experience of being entrepreneur for such a long time. Okay, so in 2009, with Malin's help, big things happened. We hit the market with a very successful Christmas show, the Christmas production Jul i Folkton. That show was filmed and aired on Swedish television, and we sold many, many tickets. As you can see on this picture, Lena Willemark, Ale Möller, Esbjörn Hazelius, Lisa Rydberg, Olle Linder, Roger Tallroth participated in this show, and we made also big records, big selling results with the live records, Julie Folkson live and Solvändets tid live. In 2012, that was a very good year for us. We grew as a company. We participated and joined Swedish Live, which is a big conference in Sweden. We expanded our markets a lot. We had 3 artists participating in the Swedish Melodifestivalen. That was Lisa Miskovsky on this picture, Avalon Dots and Carolina Wallin Perez. And we doubled the amount of bookings. This year, until 2015, we also joined forces with legendary Swedish artist Thomas Ledin at Hässelby Slott Castle. And let me just look here. Anyway, we produced Stockholm Folk Festival by Hässelby Slott, and we did a lot of bookings these years, and the whole summertime in MTA was used to do this festival, run a festival school, producing Nationaldagen in Hässelby Slott, also developed the concept and the music production at the castle at the same time, together with Stockholm Meeting Selection and Esbjörn Mårtensson, as well as with Thomas Ledin. And 2015, we gained and was awarded with Musikörat at this conference, Live at Heart 2015, because we managed to make equal bookings at the festival. And it was a big success for us because we also hit a record with the sales of the tickets. And yeah, we got a lot of things that was very positive for us that was happening in Hässelby as well in Stockholm and the rest of Sweden. So 2009 until today, we have been working with the internationalization and expansion of the market. And that was made possible through that we participated in these conferences and fairs. We did Warmex in Europe, Finland, Hungary, Greece, Spain, and Denmark. And we have been showcasing 5 bands during these years at this festival. In Folk Alliance in the USA, we have been hosting the SweFolk Room and the National and the Nordic Alliance Room, as well as we were showcasing Rami Assam, that totally did a big breakthrough and got a new American-Canadian management thanks to this showcase. So thank you, Valden, for taking care of him nowadays. Also, folk band Kolonin broke into the North American market thanks to Folk Alliance. Other bands that also were doing showcase here was Ode, Tom Levin, Lisas, Suso and Maher Sissoko, Sara Aynak, Bjäran, Jarmo Larsen, Taraband, and a lot of other bands from Sweden. We were invited by Angus Finnan, which has also been a great help for us getting into the US and beyond markets. And at the first time we met him was at this conference, Live at Heart 2015. The other conferences of big importance for us is Folkelarm in Norway, Music and Media in Finland, Visa for Music in Morocco, Mondial Montreal in Canada, and where we also have been 3 years getting to know a lot of very good professionals that helped us build a momentum in Canada. And I want to say a big thanks to Derek Andrews and his team for that opportunity. ECMA in Canada was also a very friendly, professional and easygoing conference where we got a lot of connections from, and I learned a lot and got a deeper understanding for Canadian market and infrastructure. So it was easier to really start to book that market and to make successful deals thanks to this ECMA. Yes, and we also have been in close collaborations with all the Nordic export offices to make the most of our international work. And I must take the opportunity to also thank Tom Levine for introducing us to the US market. Big thanks to the support from Export Music Sweden, Jesper Thorsson, Musikverket, Kulturrådet, and a very special thanks to Åke Lundström, you Åke, Live at Heart, and Michael Blair and Peter Åstedt, Music Help, because thanks for you guys, we could do this big work and all these deals and all this tour. Okay, so over to you, Malin, Kairis.
Okay, yes, thank you, Hilda. Today, MTA represents about 70 artists and artistic projects within different genres, but always with great quality. We book around 1,500 gigs per year, the year 2020 excluded, and we book mostly to external organizers. Around 90% of the bookings take place in Sweden, 5% in the rest of the Nordic countries, and 5% in the rest of the world. We constantly receive requests from artists and bands who want to be represented by MTA, and there are incredibly many good ones. But for us to be able to successfully lift an artist and take it to the next level, it can be regarding, for example, the quantity of gigs, the type of gigs and type of venues, the level of fee, and so on. We need the artist or band to have certain things in place. So please take a moment to think of answers to these questions. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And who do you want to be perceived as? Based on this, we identify the target group and venues, current and future. Further, you must have an updated website and work actively with social media. This also includes pitching to Spotify. When it comes to live gigs, you have to make sure that your audience receive info about their existence through your website and your other channels. That you invite them to Facebook events or maybe record videos to share, and that you are willing and interested in collaborate with the promoter when it comes to social media marketing. It is good if you already have an established network and more team players invested in a project. It can be record companies, PR companies, press agents, etc. And you should be nice and easy to work with. It may sound banal, but it is extremely important that you are perceived as pleasant and simple by the promoters who you meet for you to be booked again, both to that same venue, but also to others. You are in charge of your own reputation. Also, too many demands and hassles will have an effect on the booking results. Ideally, you should have a driver's license and a known sound system, just in case. It is very important that the artist is the driving force of the project, while we, as a booking company, act as an overall sounding board, but with the focus of booking gigs. So now let's look at the promoters. MTA collaborates closely with the organizers. We want to get as close as we actually can. We want a straightforward communication with the promoter. For example, what money is available, what scenes, what target groups, what do you want to achieve with the booking? What have you already booked a lot of, and how can we complement your program? Transparency. Understanding each other's situation is very important. For example, if I know approximately what budget an organizer has, I can contact even a smaller venue with a smaller wallet if I have a gap on the way home from another show for an artist. We look at the logistics so that it is sustainable for both the artists and the organizers' finances, and for the climate, if it is possible to avoid flights. And for organizers, much the same applies as for the artists. You also need to keep track of your image and values, have an updated and user-friendly website, and good communication with your audience via social media. More on this later. Yes, because along came Corona, COVID-19. On March 12, the Swedish government issued guidelines for a maximum of 500 in the audience. Some of our gigs were affected, but for MTA it was still then manageable. But on March 16, the limit was lowered to 50 and everything fell apart. Everyone went home. It was not possible to do any more work that day or the next. And after that, everything revolved around canceling gigs or finding new dates, syncing the artist and venue calendar again. For MTA, basically all of this spring's gigs and most of the summers were cancelled or postponed. Since mid-March, ticket revenues in total have decreased by about 90% in Sweden. I usually work mostly through the computer and emails, but during this pandemic, I have made more telephone calls than ever before, often just to ask, how are you coping? This has been a time to talk and to come closer, both to our artists, musicians, technicians, but also to our beloved promoters. We wanted them to survive, and they wish the same for us. If we did not have transparency and understanding before, I feel that we got it now. And then, when spring became summer, people seemed to have finished mourning and started to be creative again. Those who survive are those who are willing to develop, doers who is not sitting around waiting. Small music venues with outdoor seatings and garden cafes started to arrange concerts and happenings with a capacity of 50 people. A great example is Kulturaktiebolaget, a company based in Örebro, that came up with the concept Trädgårdslive, which has become something of a movement. Private shows for 50 people in private backyards. This concept has sold over 10,000 tickets between June and August. Here it became clear just how important the simplicity was. Artists who could cut costs, change their setting, and bring their own sound system went out into Sweden's gardens. Some have been able to do between 20 and 40 gigs and have met thousands of their fans this summer this way. The artists could continue to build relationship with the audience, perhaps even more so than before, with even fewer people in the audience, with the feeling of we experience something special together. They could make time to be more active on social media, to stream and get donations maybe, and maybe build a digital fan base, and to create and sell merch. For organizers, it is also about thinking creatively. With restrictions saying no more than 50 people can meet, can you raise the ticket price? After all, you only need 50 people with the economy to buy them. Can you organize 2 gigs with 50 people on the same date? That would mean that you could sell 100 tickets. For the artist, it is often almost the same to do 2 shows times 60 minutes instead of 1 show with 2 sets. And can you work even more creatively with your marketing? Budget that was previously placed on posters will now be placed digitally. Collaborate with artists, but also sponsor posts to reach new audiences. You probably have fewer gigs now. Take that time and review the communication plan going forward. So, what can we say about the future? We still don't know what the new restrictions that are supposed to be valid from October 1st will look like, and it will take time for promoters to adapt to them. A survey by Ticketmaster that was conducted this summer shows that 86% of the respondents want to attend as many or more events than before when the pandemic is over. 51% would buy tickets to their favorite artist tomorrow if the event takes place about 6 months ahead. Now is the time for both artists and organizers to identify their core and to find the right way, depending on the outside world and timing, to package, present, and communicate. It is not about changing everything, but we believe that the future belongs to those who are willing to be developed and to be educated. And I hope that even when the pandemic is over, we can all continue to have this understanding for each other. Everyone who is a part of the music industry's ecosystem that is so much talked about these days. Remember, we need each other for a common and maybe a more loving future. And now over to Julia Boman, who started to work at MTA last year and has on that short time become a highly valued asset in our team.
Thank you, Malin. Hi, my name is Julia Boman. I started to work at MTA 2019 and I work as a production manager and head of PR. And today I'm going to talk about this. How to update your marketing, solidify your brand, and create engaging content post-corona. And this will be useful for both artists and concert organizers. So first of all, ask yourself, does your marketing reflect your brand? This is a time to build up, tweak, and challenge your creativity. How many social platforms do you actually have online? Some of the biggest platforms today are Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So that's the ones that I'm going to talk about today. Have a look at your social platforms. I'm now going to list 4 topics that are crucial to your brand online. First up is the visual part. Is your logotype updated and representative of you? Do you have updated promo pictures and links everywhere? Is your feed managed and cohesive? And lastly, do you have a clear aesthetic which permeates your channels? Second is the social part, aka maintaining the relationship with your fans or followers. How do you present yourself on your platforms? Are you talkative and close with your fan base? Do you post enough online? And do you respond to comments and messages? Also, do you go live on Facebook and Instagram once in a while? Because it could be good to go live and either play a song from your living room or just have a chat with your audience. Maybe you can have a Q&A. Next is content. Do you have an official YouTube channel? YouTube is a place where you can upload music videos, live sessions, vlogs, live footage, etc. Because the more channels you have, the more fans you will reach. Also, what kind of content are you posting? Is it unique, engaging, cohesive, and true to your brand? Check out what posts of yours are getting the most likes, shares, and comments on your page and start from there. What other forums could fit you? Maybe you should start a podcast, get a Twitter account, or make a collaboration with another artist or promoter to reach out to a new audience. Now let's talk about concert marketing online. How to sell tickets outside classic PR. And with classic PR, I mean things like posters or ads in paper magazines. How can you optimize your ticket sales online? And how should you budget your marketing? It's important to acknowledge the collaboration between the artist and the concert organizer ahead of a gig. This is the ideal. Here we have the artist who can reach their own fans through their social platforms. We have the promoter who reaches local concert goers, people in their city who would be interested in buying a ticket. And in the middle, there are us, the booking agents. Our job here is to connect the artist and the organizer. We will share posts from both sides, provide them both with information and work as a sort of vessel in between them, like a connector. The 3 of us needs to collaborate for the concert marketing to work. So I'm now going to explain in more detail what concert marketing online can look like for the artist and the organizer separately. Let's start with the artist. What can the artist do? You can make at least one informal video where you talk directly to the fans about the gig, giving them all the information they need, like where to buy tickets, as well as how excited you are to play. And this video is to be shared by the artist, the promoter, and the booking agents. Also, you can do an Instagram story takeover on the venue's Instagram. This is also a collab, and it will strengthen your relationship with the venue's followers, which may result in more tickets being sold. Make sure that your fans get the right information. You have to check with your agent to get the correct ticket link and gig time. Another great thing you can do is to tag the organizer or the venue in your social media posts. You should do this because this shows that you are invested, you know them, and it's important for your relationship with the venue. So what about the promoter? What can the promoter do? Create and share the ticket link in time. This is a big one for us, and the ticket link needs to go live in time so that you have a chance of selling tickets. Decide a date and inform the agent in time, and the tickets will sell faster. Online marketing budget. Since we're not doing any traditional PR, you'll have to make sponsored posts on Facebook and Instagram, for example. And you have to make sure that you pick the right audience that the sponsored post will reach. Stuff like people who live in the town where the gig is being held and people who's already a fan of the artist. You can also spend the online marketing budgets on an outside PR firm that can contact online magazines to promote the gig. Ticket competition or a giveaway. This is also a good way to create buzz and make the audience invested and gain a lot of shares on Facebook. Facebook live Q&A on the artist, with the artist on your Facebook page. This is similar to an Instagram takeover, and it follows the same format. Artist takes over your account for a limited time. Fans will react and find your page. Fans will get invested and informed about the gig. These are just some of the topics on how to get your marketing to a new level online. That was me. Thank you so much. And over to you, Hilda.
Thank you, Julia. Yes. During this year, this strange time, we have been developing a streaming service together with a tech company. And if you're interested in that, please tune in tomorrow into our seminar here at Live at Heart, 10 a.m. And it will be held by me and Marie Alexander. And we will broadcast that session from Sonica Studio in Södermalm in Stockholm. We used our studio Sonica to broadcast and do live streaming during the worst Corona crisis. I did 34 programs as a host, and see this incredible list of bands that we streamed. These bands were not on our roster. Some of them were from MTA, but most of them were from other companies or reached out and stayed connected with us during this time. And about streaming, I tried a lot of things. Not everything, but it feels like everything. I tried donations, pay-per-view. We streamed on Facebook and Instagram. We also tried to stream and do a pay-per-view case with Ticketco, Amazon, and also with InPlayer live stream. I realized there aren't any ready, easy solutions or platforms for this. Twitch is made for gamers. Facebook is good for promoting events, but just doesn't work 100% for a live stream concert. We had a really big problem with copyright, that question, and fans that wants to donate money but does not have a PayPal, nor a Swish, or feel safe to use their own credit card. And another challenge is the marketing and the production. To work with streams as well as the cost for productions, cameras and software and a suitable platform is a lot of things to think about. And to find a way to cope with the situation and the fact that this pandemic is a big catastrophe in society and that people are afraid, also afraid of coming to do their gig in our studio. You and your feelings are not in harmony, of course. Your business is threatened by the situation, but still people expect the show to be good and in good quality to stay and enjoy it. So, if you say that you are doing this, people are expecting that you can and will. This is, of course, a big pressure also. So a lot of work is on preparing and trying to be in other people's situation. What are they expecting from this, and can I surprise them by doing something better? Will the audience then donate more money? And good work in Sweden has been done by KB, Kulturbolaget in Malmö, with bands like Wilmer X and Backyard Babies, as well as by Mustache, with a big fan base and funny ideas. It's all about thinking outside the box. Maybe buying beer to the bands. And you imagine that you are at the venue with friends and you stand in the bar and just enjoy the music while being in the sofa at home. And of course, there is also a great sensitivity to work with a team of people when this is going on at the same time. It is impossible to have a plan B for crew as well for a content. Many cancellations were made by many producers and artists in the last minute. All the streaming activity at MTA Production right now is of course to be continued, and we only just started. I want to say a big thanks to Sonica Studio, Stream Team Sweden, Bring It Home, 2020, Lovina, Tom and Kristoffer and Gunnar, Chris and Daniel Josefsson, and Kattis Törnberg, Mats Rydström for doing this together with me. And also thanks ABF and Gaffa and Orkesterjournalen that did a big, good marketing job together with us. And the other things that we did during these times was that we did more things. We started a mentoring program where we welcome artists, bands, and promoters to make sessions with us. Here is some feedback from 2 clients that we have helped to sharpen their tools. First, Anders Lundin took a decision to learn more and to engage himself into understanding more on how social media can and be helpful for him to get more streaming on Spotify. Sunstroke Ray was very self-driven, but had a big need to get feedback from us and reflect herself, as well as having a premiere on a video in a music blog. And the nice things with mentoring is that you can also engage other experts from the music business and give people a chance to get assignments together with us. So yes, it was possible to engage more professionals from the music business ecosystem. And that is what is needed in these times when you have to be helpful and see the opportunities and help each other. So that was all from us at MTA. We would like you to write comments in the chat field or write questions to us. And if you have things to ask, you can please contact Malin at MTA Production. And here is the email address, malin@mtaprod.se. So please feel free to contact us regarding questions about MTA mentoring or streaming or bookings or anything. And thank you so much, Live at Heart, for having this conference and adapting so well to these new times. And we hope to see you soon in real life. Okay. Bye from us, and thank you, Julia and Malin, and thanks from Hilda also here at the MTA office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, MTA Productions, for being a part of Live at Heart. And I hope to see you live here next year, because it couldn't stay this way. I know that it's been a very difficult time, and I read some figures that 1/3 or half of all the professional musicians would have to do something else. I don't know if this is something you can see. Is it that bad?
Some of our artists and especially the musicians that work with the artists also work with as music teachers and similar professions. So, and they have began to do this a lot more now. I can say that. Yeah.
Well, let's hope that we need the musicians. We need the music.
Mm.
Thank you, MTA Productions, and Malin, Julia, and Hilda, and see you next year, and see you around all year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye to all.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.